Hey, Christ Community Church family, Pastor David here. I was thinking about this morning. One of the first things that I do every single day as soon as I swing my feet out of bed is I put my glasses on. And it's because I want to see clearly. Now, it's not that I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. I mean, I can see everything. I just can't see clearly. I have a astigmatism. So I got to have my glasses on, and then everything comes into perfect focus. Maybe for you, you pop in your contacts when you first wake up, or maybe you don't need glasses all the time just to have them to read. You know, there's that great conspiracy going around where they've made the font size smaller on everything. And it's not that your eyes have changed, but, you know, just in case you've got 100 pairs of cheaters reading glasses around all over your house, and you just kind of go from couch to end table, and anytime you want to read something, you got to see clearly, pop your cheaters on, right? Or maybe for you, all you need to see clearly is your telescopic arm. You know what I mean? Like you started reading things here, but now you read things way out here. Listen, seeing clearly is an awesome thing, isn't it? Vision stuff has been a big part of my life for a really long time. When Katie and I first got married, we were super young. I was 21, she was 20, and she was still in college at the time. I was working at a church, but I needed to work a second job, and so I ended up working for lens crafters selling glasses. Now, my title wasn't glasses salesperson. It was something so much better than that. You ready? Here's what it was: frames stylist. Can you believe that? Like, I know what all of you are thinking. One look at me and your first thought is, David, can you please style me? I mean, you know, you have such an impeccable sense of style, right? Hey, it's not that funny. But here's the thing. I did love what I did, because there was something awesome about people coming in who couldn't see clearly, helping them find the right set of glasses, putting in all their prescription information, sending it back to the lab, and then having them come back an hour later, trying their glasses on and getting to see them see clearly for the very first time. It was an awesome thing. Oh, you mean there's individual leaves on trees? I can't believe that. That's incredible, right? It was an awesome thing to watch people see clearly what had been there all along. I love this story from Genesis chapter 16 because it really reminds me about seeing clearly. Abram, one of God's chosen people and one of his servants, he's this totally imperfect guy, and he really messes up big time. He couldn't have any children. His wife Sarai comes to him and says, hey, listen, we're not going to get pregnant with me. It's been forever. It's not happening. How about we just come up with a different plan? I'll take my maidservant Hagar. You sleep with her, and I'll give her to you as a surrogate, and she can have children for me. And Abram blindly goes along with this plan, and it totally backfires. And so in the middle of this deal, Hagar, she's been mistreated. It's through no fault of her own. She's a victim. And so she finds out she's pregnant. And so she gets a little snarky with Sarai. And Sarai's not having it. And so she goes to Abram, you better fix this. And he's like, this is your problem. This wasn't even my idea. And so Abram and Sarai both totally mistreat her, abuse her, and abandon her. Now you would think that this would not happen with God's people. But you know what? I hear stories all the time. Maybe some of you, you've been totally burned by other church people. Maybe you felt mistreated. Maybe you felt abused or abandoned. Maybe you felt neglected, right? And for you, you find yourself sort of in wilderness saying, you know what? Like, I can't believe that God's people would treat me this way. Well, I've got some great news for you. You ready for this? God is totally not like his people. I mean, God's people are imperfect, but God is totally perfect. And so Hagar runs into the wilderness, and she's sitting down and she's crying. She's hopeless. She's helpless. She's pregnant. She doesn't know where to go. She doesn't know what to do. The people who were supposed to care for her most were the very people who mistreated, abused, and abandoned her. And do you know what happens? God himself runs after her. God himself shows up to her. God himself promises to care for her and to give her a hope and a future. And so Jesus appears in the Old Testament. The Bible says the angel of the Lord comes to her, finds her, sits down with her, and he asks her where she's going and what she's doing, and then he decides he's going to make promises to her. He says, I want you to know, I want you to go back to the house of Abram, but I'm making you a promise. This child who's growing in your womb, he's going to be an awesome man. He's going to have this great nation that comes from him, and I'm going to take care of you. And in the middle of that, even when she had been abandoned by every single other person, even when she had been mistreated by God's people, God comes and he cares and he sees her. And there's this, it's almost like spiritual glasses that go on her eyes. And she says, I want to give you a name. I think that's awesome. She decides she's going to name God. And do you know what name she gives him? She says, you're the God who sees me. You know, there's times where it feels like nobody else gets us. Nobody else sees us clearly. And she looks at Jesus and she says, I'm going to call you the God who sees me because now I've seen for the first time clearly the one who sees and takes care of me. Listen, today, if you've been abandoned, if you've been mistreated, even if it's been by God's people, the people who were supposed to take the best care of you took the worst care of you. Maybe you felt like that in your marriage or a dating relationship, or maybe in parenting, or whatever it might be at work. I just want to tell you, I want you to know there's a God who sees you clearly. And even when it looks like he's been absent, he's been there the whole time right beside you. Even when God's people abandon and mistreat you, he runs after you because he loves you. And he wants to make promises to you. And he wants you to see clearly the one who sees and takes care of you. So today we're going to keep talking about this story a little more in our community groups. If you're not in a community group, I would just encourage you to join one. This Sunday you can go into our lobby and look on the glass wall. You'll see brochures for every one of our community groups that meet all over town almost every night of the week. So I'd encourage you to find community so you're known and can talk through these things together. But this week, maybe you're not in one. You can just download the discussion guide, talk about it with some friends at work over the lunch table, or maybe you can talk about it at the dinner table at home. But today, hopefully, you can put on your spiritual glasses, and no matter what you're walking through, you can see clearly the one who sees you. Hope you have a great day.